Hey students, this is the first of the IXLs that you've been assigned today. It's the Algebra 2 section in IXL, uh, section N4, simplifying rational expressions. So I'm just going to go through and narrate some of this because I did this video without any sound. So this is a narration over the video. All right, here we go. You have 5d squared minus 2d, and you'll factor that, pull out the d as the greatest common factor, and then you got 5d minus 2 in parentheses. And so, of course, you can cancel out the 5d minus 2, and you're left with d in the numerator, which you can just write d instead of d over 1. All right, so this one, we can only factor the denominator. The 41s just stays like it is. The denominator, we can pull out an s. And then in parentheses, we have s plus 1. And then the s in the numerator and the s in the denominator can cancel out. And you have 41 over s plus 1. All right, so this one, what I did was I factored the numerator on this one, and I made it r and then r plus 1. And excuse me, r minus 1, sorry, r minus 1 in parentheses. And then I canceled out the r's. Another thing you can do is if you've got an expression where every single term can be divided by the same thing, like do you see the r squared, the r, and the r could all be divided by r. If you can do that, then you can simplify it that way instead of factoring. Okay, so this one is a trinomial, and we need to factor this into two binomials. So 25 is 23 plus 2, and 46 is 23 times 2. So I use the 2 and the 23 to factor that. And so then the w plus 2 could cancel. And what's remaining is just w plus 23. Okay, so the numerator in this one, we can pull out an x, and we have 3x minus 10 left in parentheses, and then we have the x in the denominator, and you just cancel out those x's, and you're left with 3x minus 10. All right, so both the numerator and denominator on this one, you just factor out a greatest common factor. In the numerator, you'd factor out the 3, and you have d plus 5 in parentheses. And the denominator, you can factor out a 6, and you have d minus 4 in parentheses. And then the 3 and the 6, you can divide both of those by 3. You get 1 on top and 2 on the bottom. So you have d plus 5, and I wasn't sure if IXL would count this right, but apparently you can leave it in factored form, because I didn't know if I needed to multiply that 2 back in, but I entered it exactly like it is here, and they took it. So I think probably you could enter it, the denominator, you could probably enter 2d minus 8, and that would be correct as well, but I left it factored. Okay, so this one, you just got two monomials, and both of the 17s would cancel. And then you've got a j to the fourth, excuse me, on top, and j to the third on the bottom. So I canceled the 17s, and then I said 3 j's. I'll cancel out 3 of those j's. I've got 1 left, and the answer is just j. All right, so this is another trinomial. I think I did 8 and 4, yeah. So positive 8 and negative 4 would give me that positive 4, the middle term. And then positive 8 and negative 4 would multiply to give me negative 32. And then on the bottom, I factored out a y and had a y minus 4 in parentheses. So those y minus 4s will cancel. And I'm left with y plus 8 over y. Now that can't be simplified any further. I think we've got a couple more on this video. Numerator stays q plus 3. The denominator is a trinomial, so we need to factor that into two binomials. Factor pair for 6, that will give me 5. 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 2 times 3 equals 6. Since there's two pluses, we know that both of the parentheses are also going to have plus. And then the q plus 3 can be canceled. And remember, if you cross out everything in a numerator, you're left with 1, not 0, but 1. So the answer would be 1 over q plus 2. Okay, we're at 75, and you have to get to 80, so these should be some of the most difficult problems that you'll see. This is two trinomials, so both the numerator and the denominator are going to be factored into two binomials each. So the top one, I'm going to use 6 and 5, and I need to get a positive 1, so it's going to be a positive 6 and a negative 5. So C plus 6, C minus 5. And then on the bottom, I believe I used a 5 and a 2, but this time the 5 needs to be negative because I need to get a negative 3. So negative 5 and positive 2. And then the C minus 5's cancel. So I have C plus 6 over C plus 2.